Shipping today is one of the cleanest and safest forms of transport. Every day, the global fleets carry billions of tons of cargo across millions of miles of ocean. Synergy Marine Group, with over a decade of experience as a leading ship manager, has its shipping safety and environmental protection as its objectives. Every day, Synergy managed fleet carry thousands of tons of cargo safely, efficiently, and with due care of the environment. In this series, we take simplifying port operation when calling at Port Hedland in Australia. 3,500 kilometers to northwest of Sydney, in a remote area in Western Australia, lies one of the substantial industrial shipping operations in the world. Today, we look into the mammoth Port Hedland, which is the world's largest bulk export port. On an average, Port Hedland exports 60 million tons of cargo every month, and 25% of global bulk seaborne trade is done by Port Hedland each year. 60% of Australia's iron ore exports take place from Port Hedland. To move this huge amount of cargo, Port Hedland has 16 ships calling each day, and more than 4,000 ships call in a year. Port Hedland is considered to be one of the largest and fastest export tonnage port in the world. Safe and quick operations are critical for this port to sustain its mammoth operations. Any ship calling should move in and out of the port using the narrow channel and stay safely alongside, carrying cargo operations without any delay or incidents. Any delay or failure in Port Hedland operations will incur heavy fine and liabilities to the company, its customers, and its reputation. It's therefore crucial to follow all prescribed safety measures and precautions while entering, staying, and leaving Port Hedland. For this, each vessel needs to address 4 key areas: navigational safety, machinery upkeep, mooring system and procedures, planned maintenance system. Let us delve deeper into the 4 key areas. Initially, we'll look into the navigational safety and its procedures. The most important procedure is to check and identify all navigational equipment and systems are in good working condition prior to entering port limits. Comply port regulations and requirements. Check vessel navigation equipment conditions. Comply passage plan checklist OP01. Comply OP09G checklist, daily checks. If any problem is recorded, please inform the office immediately without fail. Looking into the key areas, number 2, machinery upkeep. The vessel's main engine, auxiliary engines, hatch cover systems and ballast pumps have to be inspected and tried out. Before entering Port Hedland, comply with port regulations and requirements. Perform proper inspections and safety tests for machinery upkeep. Comply with the engine room checklist TE66 specifically made for Port Hedland. Keep the vessel planned management system updated. If any adverse issue is noted, please inform the office. Next is the key area number 3, mooring systems and procedures. Mooring operations are very critical and require very good planning for the vessel. Before entering Port Hedland, please comply with port regulations and requirements. It's important to inspect vessel mooring system for any damages. Check the mooring ropes conditions. Port Hedland has banned using ropes which are more than 5 years old. Keep spare ropes ready to avoid unwanted delays. Vessel to follow the line management plan and mooring safety management plan. Keep the vessel's planned maintenance system updated for mooring systems. If any problem is noted, inform the office. Key area number 4, planned maintenance system. The company has a well-designed and approved planned maintenance system which is specific to the ship's equipment. Compliance with the planned maintenance system ensures the vessel not only complies with the requirements of the safety management system but also contributes towards efficient port operations. In complying with the planned maintenance system, Make sure no critical job is overdue. Prior to arrival at the port, all jobs must be completed for navigation, main engine, auxiliary engine, ballast pump, hatch covers and mooring system. In case of any overdue in planned maintenance system, kindly inform the office. To ensure that we address each area effectively, vessel to follow OP 18C checklist that has been specifically made for Port Hedland. It's mandatory for all masters to declare any defect and ensure all equipment and machinery are in good condition, which comes under port regulations and requirements of Port Hedland. Vessels that experience any equipment failure and have detrimental impact on the port operations will be subject to adverse reports that may invite fines and claims in the event of significant port delays. While anchoring at Port Hedland, the designated anchorage area will be advised by the VTS before passing the first reporting point. Anchoring is prohibited anywhere within the VTS area outside of the designated anchorage. The depths of the anchorage is in the range of 13 to 17 meters of the chart datum. All anchorages have a radius of about 370 meters and care is to be taken to anchor close to the center of the designated anchorage to avoid proximity to other vessels anchored in the vicinity. Vessel may consider using this formula for describing the scope of the cable. When planning to approach the anchorage, facts such as weather condition, prevailing current and traffic density needs to be considered carefully. It's advisable to plan the approach by stemming the predominant factor of current or wind to maintain better control of the vessel throughout the process. When in Port Hedland waters, master and officer on watch to keep close VHF watch on channel 8, 12, 16 and 67. We now look into precautions to be considered while entering Port Hedland approach channel and berthing. The requirement and responsibility to operate in one of the biggest and tightest port is huge and needs a huge degree of planning. The master and the entire ship crew on board should understand their roles and responsibilities during channel passage and berthing. Vessels approaching Port Hedland must do so via the single-lane shipping fairway. UKC restrictions of 2.5 meters are to be maintained by all vessels except tankers, where 3.0 meters is the minimum requirement over a chartered depth of 10.5 meters. Vessel must check out diligent checks as per Bridge Checklist Book 7 at least 2 hours prior heaving up anchor. This will allow sufficient time for rectifying any defects that are noted during these checks. Ensure the main engine tested ahead and astern. Steering tested in all mode including non-follow-up. Check all navigation equipment including radars, echo sounder and EGDIS are running properly. Examine whistle operational and both whistles are tested. Gyro error is determined. Remove all covers from bridge wing repeaters, controls and instruments. Check main engine and helm indicators in all locations. At night, turn on the lights of these indicators and clean the bridge front windows. Always ensure 2 generators and both the steering motors are running. Confirm the 3rd generator is on standby and kept on LSMGO. Heave up the anchor well in time. It's better to control the drift for some time after the anchor away rather than having the vessel arrive late at pilot boarding ground. Both anchors are to be broken off and kept ready for emergency release with lashings removed, on the brake, out of gear and on bow stopper. Start early and adjust the speed which is necessary to arrive 20 degrees 10 minutes south, 118 degrees 33 minutes to east to receive the pilot who boards usually by the helicopter at the assigned time. If for some reason a vessel is unable to make the assigned time, the vessel has to immediately notify the Port Hedland VTS advising the problem with the revised ETA. Master should plan to arrive at the pilot boarding ground ensuring that it is southerly heading so as to avoid making a large alteration of course during or soon after pilot boarding. Note that 8 minutes for the helicopter to get to the ship at the pilot boarding ground. The helicopter pilot will call vessel on VHF channel 12 as soon as he lifts off from the shore and informs his arrival time. In the same call, he will seek confirmation for landing hatch number, all clear for landing, and that the helicopter party is in position. As the pilot comes on board by helicopter, prior arrival, complete helicopter operations checklist OP04. Always ensure presence of 2 charged fire hose diagonally across the helipad. Once the pilot is on board, proper master pilot information exchange to be carried out and recorded. Pilots use special channel tracking system and explain detailed channel approach plan and mooring operations to master and officer on watch. During pilotage, one of the most important concerns for the pilots and Port Hedland Authority is keeping their channels clear. To improve the standards and upkeep the needs, the Port Hedland Port Authority is investing their best resources. Remember, when the pilot is on board, the communication on bridge, including between ship staff, must only be in English. The communication with the pilot to be precise and frivolous conversation to be avoided. Let's see what makes Port Hedland unique and challenging compared to other port operations. The in and out approach at Port Hedland is a single fairway which can be transited by one ship only at a time. Port Hedland's tidal movements are predominantly semi-diurnal. About 8 ships transit the channel during each high tide. The channel is on an average 14.8 meters deep and 183 meters wide at its narrowest point. A typical Cape-size bulk carrier is about 60 meters wide, which may pass at an angled heading to compensate for current or wind effects. This leaves just 45 meters safe water margin on either side. During a sailing window, a vessel leaves the port every 30 minutes. Please ensure that Port Hedland VTS has the vessel's correct berthing drafts. If the vessel changes its berthing draft at any time, Port Hedland VTS must be informed. Drafts can be sent to Port Hedland VTS via the ship's agent or directly using VHF Channel 12. VTS area extends 22 nautical miles north-northwest to seaward from Beacon 47, and vessel participation is mandatory. Ensure VHF Channel 12 is monitored and communication with the VTS is established prior to entering this area. Do not enter, depart or move within the VTS area without the prior acknowledgement or approval from Port Hedland VTS. Inform the VTS even if deciding to anchor outside the VTS area. Do not move or change the anchor position without prior approval from the VTS. If having difficulty in holding the anchorage position or dragging is suspected, the VTS must be notified immediately. The master and the officer on watch should understand the geographical conditions and the limitations caused by large tidal ranges on Port Hedland's vessel movements. Port Hedland presently has 16 berths operational, and with a huge demand, more berths are under construction. During the mooring operations, ensure communication with the bridge. Ensure safe mooring procedure for all crew. Avoid unwanted delays. Tug lines to be lowered slowly and only when tug comes alongside. Ensure crew on deck have a sufficient number of heaving lines and these are kept ready before meeting the tugs. Heaving lines sent to tugs must never be fitted with additional weights. While making fast and letting go tug tow lines, the rope stoppers have to be used to prevent the tow line from slipping while the tow line eye is being placed on the bits. Under no circumstances, the crew is to control the tug by hand or by standing on the tow lines, as these lines are heavy and can cause severe injury. The officer in charge is to maintain constant visual contact with both the winch operator and the tug. If at any time there exists a danger of entanglement in the messenger line, the officer has to clearly signal stop to the tug crew. As soon as the tow line is fast, all crew have to immediately move well clear and remain well cleared over the line. The tow lines may suddenly come under high tension and may result in severe or fatal injury for those who are nearby in case of tow line failure. Any unsafe act mooring operation will also result in the vessel receiving negative feedback from the port. Prior to entering the port headland limits, it's mandatory to review and comply with checklist OP24A and B. This will help in better awareness of the vessel mooring system, ensure crew are trained on how to tighten the brake, and they are aware of all consequences of over-tightening. Master and all crew involved in mooring operation must be fully aware of various signals practiced during operation. Prior to departing from the anchorage, keep the mooring ropes prepared for berthing. All berths use 4-2-2 mooring arrangement forward and aft. Mooring boats are used for taking the lines from the vessel to the quick-release hooks and handles, 2 lines at a time. Always use heaving lines to pick up shore messengers. Lines sent ashore will be placed on quick-release hooks and are to remain slack till all lines have been sent out and clear instructions received from the pilot to start heaving. Till such time, do not heave, not even take the lines above the water. The terminal provides a tablet which provides tension on the lines. The information can be inaccurate at times, and hence the lines must be checked physically. Always monitor to avoid mooring lines from surging, chafing, and any tensions. Make sure all mooring ropes are to be less than 5 years in service. Once the ship is alongside, the vessel has to stay alongside in tidal range of 7 meters with the cargo rate of 8,000 metric tons per hour. To give you an idea, that's enough iron for 2 cars per second. When you safely berth, make sure the gangway is rigged properly. The gangway is to be rigged and ready prior to the vessel departing the anchorage. All Cape-size vessels are to have a seaside gangway rigged at deck level, ready for quick deployment when all fast. Due to the danger posed to the crew members working on the water, gangway preparation while underway is to be avoided. Always ensure that the gangway does not exceed 55 degrees from the horizontal. This is to be continuously monitored while the vessel is at berth. While at port headland, the gangway is to be in a good condition, safe, clean and free of grease, with the lower platform set at the correct angle for the lowered gangway. The safety net is not to interfere with the gangway operation. Maintain ISPS watch as per the Port Authority's requirement. While at berth, no maintenance has to be carried out. Lifeboat drills to be avoided during berthing. Continuously monitor vessel moorings. Cargo operations and deballast operations to be as per approved loading plan. Any change in loading status must be accompanied by the change in the cargo plan. As per port regulation, ship personnel are not allowed to step on shore for draft survey. After completion of port operation and before departing port headland, pilot boards via the seaside gangway. Once the pilot boards, the master pilot information exchange has to be carried out while he arrives on the bridge. The main engine is to be tried out ahead and astern only after the pilot arrives on the bridge and gives his consent. VHF channel 12 or 8 is used for all communication till the vessel drops the pilot. The outward pilotage is from the berth till soon after passing beacon C1, C2 through the 22 miles long buoyed channel. Precautions when handling tow lines, as mentioned in the earlier session, must be strictly followed. When casting off the lines, the pilot may ask for a little slack, about 2 meters. Do not slack the lines too much, as some weight will be required on hooks when being released remotely. The lines which have been cast off are to be taken without any delay. The vessel will use 4 tugs for the departures on the sequence of tying up. These tugs will be clearly explained by the pilot during the unberthing meeting with the master. On completion of the channel transit, the pilot will disembark from the vessel by helicopter soon after seabuoys C1 and C2. Master and officer on watch should make sure that the pilot disembarkation is smooth and safe. Simulation studies have indicated that the majority of incidents leading to a channel blockage scenario could be mitigated by using a 120 tons line force. To further strengthen Pilbara Port Authority's risk management strategy in the port of Port Hedland, Pilbara Port Authority requires all Cape-size vessels to have 1 set of bitts and Panama lead or roller fair leads on the vessel's aft deck or near the center line to be rated to a minimum of 120 tons safe working load. Port Hedland is the gateway for the iron ore from Australia to the world. With so much at stake, authorities of Port Hedland do not allow even the slightest of lapses on ship or on shore. Summarizing the complete percept of Port Hedland, the master, officer on watch and crew have to make sure that the 4 key areas have been attended. Ensure the planned maintenance system is ready. Keep the gangway ready before getting underway. All the communications must be in English only when the pilot is on board. All officers must attend mooring meeting with the pilot. Keep the tug line clear and lower it slowly. Similarly, maintain UKC restriction of 2.5 meters or more and maintain regular contact with VTS at all times while in VTS zone. Synergy Group strives to achieve operational excellence to keep its managed fleet clear of accidents, injuries or environmental incidents. We wish you safe operations and stay at Port Hedland.